Was Windows Vista really that bad? I've installed Windows Vista on this PC. It's an AMD Athlon 2. It has a Windows 7 sticker, so it is designed for Windows 7. But I thought I'd see how it performs with Windows Vista. And I do need to put a fresh battery in that so that messages don't come up on the BIOS screen. But we'll see how quickly it loads, and we'll just have a quick look around Windows Vista, because at the time when Windows Vista came out, it was quite demanding. It needed fairly reasonable performance and hardware, and so it seemed quite slow to a lot of people. But looking back, it's older than Windows 7, and everybody loves Windows 7, me included. I really like Windows 7. I really like Windows XP. But maybe we gave up on Windows Vista a bit too soon.
Good old Vista. People give it a bad press, but I'm never upgrading. Why would I? It just feels like a good pair of jeans.
And maybe if we go back with a decent spec PC with a good processor, dual core, 4 gigs of RAM, and graphics that are capable of the 3D, maybe it'll be quite a nice operating system to use. So I thought we could have a look and see what's going on. I installed the drivers for the graphics, and it also needs .NET Framework to run the control panel, but I'm still able to, change settings for the display and everything else. I just can't use the actual control center for the graphics card, so it's no huge issue. This graphics card built in is using 256 megabytes. We've got a dual core processor and 4 gigabytes of RAM. We've got this Windows Experience Index that tells you how the system is performing. So processor is 5.7, RAM is 5.9, graphics are at 4.0, and disk is at 5.9. This is running a hard drive, 160 gigabyte hard drive, and yeah, the system looks quite neat. You've got these transparent windows, so as you move over things you can see what's behind, which is quite a nice effect. And I'll just see what programs we've got on here built in. We've got Windows Calendar, we've got Contacts, Defender, DVD Maker, Windows Live Messenger, Download, Windows Mail, Media Center, so that's cool. Media Player, Meeting Space, Movie Maker, handy for editing videos, Windows Photo Gallery. And I'll just start some of these so that we've got something we can switch between. And we've got a whole bunch of accessories. So Windows Media Center was a whole sort of thing you can use to basically connect this to a TV and have it as your media center. We'll run setup later, I guess. But it's got this quite stylish looking interface. And you can control your whole computer from this if you boot into this. Even lets you burn CDs, DVDs, sync your digital camera, add extender. Not sure what that does, but there's so much built into this. You probably didn't need to add much extra software. You could have it as your music library, radio, search. Interesting control interface. It's designed to be used with a remote control. I remember having a remote control and it had a USB infrared receiver so that I could control my PC with it. So this is really cool. We've got Movie Maker, and this was really easy to use to create videos. In fact, some of my first videos on my channel were edited with Windows Movie Maker. I've got a photo gallery, I've got the calendar. Let's just leave some of these open so that, yeah, like I say, we can switch between them. We'll have a look at the other accessories that we've got. Got all the usual RDP, snipping tool, welcome center, not sure what that is, Windows sidebar, WordPad. And you'll notice that all of these are opening up pretty quickly. System tools, control panel, disk defrag. You can run Internet Explorer with no add-ons. And there's software that I've installed as well as various different things. There's a Windows Marketplace, Windows website, games. We've got Chess Titans, Freecell games, Explorer Hearts, Inkball, not sure what that is, Mahjong, Minesweeper, Purple Play, Solitaire, Spider Solitaire. Let's just click Inkball. Ooh, this looks interesting. I've not played this before. Oh, it's going the wrong way. This is pretty cool, pretty neat. My cat is meowing in the background. Let's have a look what else we've got. Maintenance, backup, restore. So there's so much in here. Windows Remote Assistance, a startup folder, that you got a lot of value for money if you did put this on your PC. But then if it didn't work very well, that could have been a problem. But I'll show you some of the things you can do with this. Down here we've got switch between windows, and this gives you a sort of funky 3D view of all your apps that you can scroll through. So let's try and find Windows Movie Maker. There we go. We've got a show desktop. And then on this side, we've got access to the Windows sidebar where you can add different widgets or gadgets, as it calls them. CPU meter, that was a fun one. Currency, stocks, weather, slideshow, picture puzzle, calendar, and notes. Notes was something I used to use back in the day, but it was a different program, and I used to have my desktop covered in different notes. I wonder if you can move this. You can have multiple different notes. It's a shame. Okay, these are the options. It's a shame that you can't sort of. Can you move these around? Oh, you can. Brilliant. That's what I was looking for. Can I have multiple notes? I can. That's great. So I could have this set up with a bunch of reminders, things that I've got to do. For example, 9 a.m. empty bins or whatever else. And you'd end up using this for different things. So website, password, and things like that. Not exactly secure depending how you use it. But yeah, they don't have to stick to this sidebar. You can move them around. Contacts, page 1 of 1. So I think you could get more gadgets online. So there's just a limited amount being shown here. But yeah, I wonder if I can make this bigger. Bring gadgets to the front, attach the sidebar, move, always on top. Oh, you can make them see-through as well. Brilliant. or I can with this one. This has got the memory usage and CPU usage. We've also got the task manager, which is the usual. I mean, it looks the same as Windows XP. And we're using about 967 megabytes, so it's not using a massive amount of memory, even though I've got quite a lot open. And one of the big issues that people had with Windows Vista when it came out was this user account control pop-up. And you get this in Windows 7. If a program needs more rights, you would have to say allow anyway. So we still have this now. We've got this in Windows 7, and we'd have the same thing in Windows 7. It's just in this, it was kind of felt very new and felt very kind of not user friendly. This, you know, you're trying to run a program, and every time you run a program, you get these messages saying user account control, and they're quite scary looking messages. In Windows 7, they've toned down. They seem much friendlier than this. And so I'll click allow because I know what the program is. But at the time, that was really annoying because it felt like everything you wanted to do, you would get these messages. But if you knew how to, if you looked on the internet, you could work out how to switch those off, and that made Windows Vista much more user-friendly. Came with all these different desktop backgrounds, and this is the famous one that we've got there. But I think we have also got themes, so you can go back to a Windows Classic. Let's just go to that. Looks a little bit like Windows 2000, but not entirely. And then you lose kind of like the see-through or transparency of the windows. You can see through these windows. You can customize the colors of the windows. You can change. You've got quite a lot of control over all of this, and you can, you know, have all sorts of different options. And you still get the high contrast stuff if you want. But Windows Aero was the one you wanted. If you wanted all of these effects, you wanted the Windows Aero feature. And that is what needed a graphics card that was capable of doing all of this without running too slowly. I don't know if there were any sort of specific Windows Vista screensavers. Maybe this one is one of them. Kind of matches the rest of the system. So let's have a look what else we've got in control panel. What's new in Windows Vista? Should we have a look at this? Oh, it's just a help page. I thought it'd be something a bit more interesting. Watch the demo with Windows Media Player 11.
Just like a filing cabinet, your computer allows you to store the files you create in folders. Those folders can hold not only files, but also other folders. The Start menu provides access to several folders that you can use to organize your files, including the Documents, Pictures, and Music folders. Let's open the Pictures folder. Notice how the address bar identifies the folder we're in. The files contained in this
I
folder
think
are...
most people understand all of this. What else do we have? Windows Media Center. I think Windows Media Center is pretty cool. And there was a Windows XP Media Center version, as far as I can remember. But this one is built into Windows Vista. So you could watch TV, record TV. And then we've got Windows Aero. I wonder what... It's a shame it doesn't give us little video demos of this, but this is what we looked at before, the 3D... Windows Flip 3D, going through the different sort of applications this way. Windows frame colors. What's new with the Windows desktop? Windows previews. So it's giving us these little previews down here. Although not everything seems to be doing that for some reason. Windows sidebar gadgets. Expanded search. So that includes searching the internet or your programs. Sync and sharing. I don't think I really use this, but Windows mobile devices. Security, Internet Explorer. Windows Easy Transfer. To transfer from your old computer. Pictures. Parental controls. Mobile PC features, tablet PC features, networking, and ease of access center. So there's a whole bunch in Windows Vista. And it looks quite nice. It's maybe a little bit overly fussy, perhaps. I think Windows 7 simplified things a little bit. So look at these 14 items for getting started with Windows. Windows Vista demos. Let's have a look. So, understanding the parts of your computer, learning to use a mouse, desktop basics, programs, files, which we looked at, printing, using the web, Windows Mail, security, user accounts, and problems and getting help. Should we have a look at what using the web's like? That could be entertaining.
The World Wide Web is part of the Internet, a network that links millions of computers around the world. The web contains a vast amount of information, which you can access from your computer using a web browser. Here are a few tips for using the Internet Explorer web browser to get around the web. Like other Windows programs, you can start Internet Explorer from the Start menu. There are millions of websites across the web, and each one has a unique address or URL.
Okay.
You can visit a site by typing its address here in the address bar. Then you click this button. Notice how the website displays in the browser? This is the website's main page, or home page. But most sites are made up of many pages. Pages are connected to each other with links, which can be text or images. See how the pointer changes to a hand over this word? That means it's a link to another web page. If you click it,
Does that still happen?
page. To return to a page you've already looked at, you click the back button. And to return to the page that you see when you start your web browser, you click the home button. If you're looking for information but don't know where to start, you can search the web. You type a few words or a phrase in the search box about a topic that interests you. Be as specific as you can. Then, click here. A list of search results appears.
It's using searchresults.microsoft.com rather than a different browser. This isn't connected to the internet. Let's just open up Internet Explorer. Yeah, we've got live search here. Could you still search in this? Would it cope with that? No, it did not cope with that at all. But we're not connected to the internet, so it's not really a fair test. Let's see what version we're on. We're on Internet Explorer 7. So that's pretty old. Let's carry on with this, shall we?
Note that you can change which search engine Internet Explorer uses to provide results. When you find a search result that seems relevant, click the link to go to the web page shown in the result. When you discover a web page that you'd like to return to regularly, you can save it as a favorite, so you don't have to remember its address. You click this button, and then click Add to Favorites. After you click Add, it's in your Favorites list. To get to the Favorites list, you click this button. Here's the page we just added. To open and quickly move between several web pages at once, you can use tabbed browsing. You click here to add a new tab. Type the address for the page you want, and then you can switch between your web pages just by clicking the tabs.
Okay, I think we've probably seen enough of that. But yeah, Windows Vista is quite nice. If you've got a PC that has enough memory, has a quick enough processor, and most computers now, even older PCs, are going to be able to cope with Windows Vista. It's quite a nice operating system to have a look at, to play around with. It's using about 15 gigabytes of space on the drive, so you don't need a large hard drive to even have a look at it. Yeah, that's tiny really compared to more modern operating systems, I guess. We've got a bunch of sample music. Actually, we've got quite a lot of sample music. More than I was expecting. I won't play it because then YouTube will get me. But it's a real shame that you can't really get security updates for a lot of these older operating systems, because more modern operating systems require newer hardware, and this is an old PC, but it would be pretty slow with Windows 10, but runs this really well. So it's a real shame that people feel the need to upgrade all the time, because the operating system demands get higher and higher, and I guess that's particularly important at the moment now with Windows 11 coming out, forcing people to get rid of old hardware that is perfectly fine. It seems a real shame that, you know, Windows don't actually provide their own light version of Windows. Like a light version of Windows 10 for older hardware would be a great idea, to keep old machines running. Because yeah, otherwise, you know, if you need Windows 10 or 11 for security, this PC is effectively, you know, e-waste. But if we use an older operating system or a version of Linux that runs on it, then we could be up and running, and it could be a perfectly capable machine. In fact, it is a perfectly capable machine. It's running this brilliantly. It's just that this operating system isn't secure anymore. I mentioned the pop-up user account control, and you can switch that off. You simply go to the control panel, user accounts, and turn user account control on or off. And you can switch that off. You do need a restart, which is a shame. But I'll show you what happens when we do that. I'll also time how long the restart takes. So we're back into the Windows desktop, and that took about, let me work it out, 35 seconds to get to this point. And now you'll notice that I can just run programs without having to say yes to the security question, which is actually kind of better than Windows 7, better than Windows 10, because you still get these questions in Windows 7 and Windows 10, and we're just used to them now. When Vista came out, it was a new thing and seemed like the worst thing to ever happen in an operating system, but we just got used to it. And maybe, you know, it's a good thing that we're being asked whether we want to run programs for security purposes. Anyway, I think we've covered quite a lot of Windows Vista here. Let me know what you think. Would you give Windows Vista another try or not? What's your favorite operating system? Let me know in the comments, and see you in another video.